comes
Right.
down and no one observes it, does it really, make a noise, or does it even happen in that regard? It's more like
Exactly.
we're building it as we go along in one way, and I guess also that is that kind of interface between the different controlling systems that you were talking about, because if the more people continuously are holding the same idea of what is going on, either if we talk about the news or even in regards to building, right, the more people that are constantly are aware that the building is there or observe it or whatever, that's going to be almost become a construct in itself that's going to become manifest and become real in the world we're living in. But this potentially is breaking apart the fewer people that are observing it or looking at it. But one thing I wanted to ask you about is in regards to things like physical laws. Then, I mean, we mentioned gravity, for instance, before. Do you think that these are laws that we potentially can overcome if we, I don't know, believe enough or don't believe enough in it?
Yeah, I think that they are. Again, that's a long explanation, but I
Yes.
think I go into it in the book. But yes, I mean, just going back to the fact that when if we can come into the realization of the holographic nature of reality, and then of course go into the fact that it is what should we say, our consciousness that's moving around. And we have to understand again that everything is a frequency pattern. Due to the fact that everything is a frequency pattern, then we realize also that the body, the physical body, is it has a certain resonance to it. It's got a certain frequency to it. However, the vibration at which the physical body is operating is always going to be based on the level of consciousness or the level of awareness which we hold.
Mm.
So it's that level, the vibration of that level of awareness, um, whatever the limitations are of that awareness, is what is going to, the cells in the body and the overall physical body is going to vibrate to. So we're unable to penetrate the things around us because we are vibrating at the same rate of speed as everything around us.
Mm.
So that's the difficulty why, that's the reason why we're not able to penetrate that. One, yes, we have collectively agreed that everything here is solid. So with that saying, yes, you touch a wall and you're just going to feel a wall. You're not going to penetrate that. But should we be able to, I think, over time begin to shift and release the programs then of the can'ts, of the things that we can't do, and then the brain itself starts to shift. Actually, the brain actually is known to physically expand, I mean, from meditation. But there are all these compartments in the brain that can allow us to experience a great many things. And but that's again based on us desiring to understand more, and that desire and that acquiring of knowledge begins to shift the actual consciousness.
Mm.
That sends, of course, another message to the brain that this being is wanting to access more pathways in the brain. That then starts to change that whole process, as the brain is already in touch with all potentials that exist anyway. The brain is scanning everything at all times, all realities that we have no knowledge of at this time. The brain is completely in touch with all of those zones. We can even give that example, as I like to use, of somebody being hypnotized, and the fact that they may have entered a room, they probably didn't, their back was turned to whatever the object was, but under hypnosis they can go back, pick up whatever was in the room, what was shown, what was on the computer,
Mm.
even though they hadn't looked at it. So the brain, you're scanning everything at all times.
Um,
So again, being able to really understand more about the scientific aspect of us, of our physical bodies, not looking at this from the fluffy, new age, mystical. I'm not even venturing on any of that. I'm just looking at this scientifically,
Yes.
and the fact that this was possible. I mean, this was being done, a long time ago. There were beings that were living a lot longer. Now, because there's so much to it, I hope I'm not chopping it up too much, but there's just so much that has to be said about it. The things that I'm talking about right here now are some of the very core, again, some of the very core reasons why we experience the level of control that we experience on the planet. There are a great many forces here on the physical plane as well, in a major way, who feel that this kind of information is not for the common man, that you don't need to get this. You don't need to know it. You don't need to know this because you are not worthy of knowing any of this or returning to who you are, our abilities to be telepathic or any of these things. So we live in this suppression, this suppressive state, and this control process. This is, again, this package that we are given. But this is all science. The bottom line of everything is going to always go back to science. And anybody who wants to throw that out, then then go ahead and operate by the package.
Yes,
it's working for you.
Would you say that it's our kind of destiny, I guess, in that sense, to evolve or go into this direction? In that sense, do you think that that's the progression that we're on currently, that we're going to expand into this area, either if we talk about being able to pierce through the veil of the current paradigm that we're in, or do you think that this is happening for some other reason, only for a few selected individuals that choosing to go down this route? What do you think?
I know that it is part of the process of us being human beings. You have the experience to the most limiting degree possible, and logically there has to be, like any game, like any good game, or any game at all, good or bad, there's an ultimate. There's an ultimate. There's an end to some degree. Sorry, but it's an end only to a specific way in which maybe the game was being played. This is a cosmic game, and it is a giant game. And so, yes, the object of this giant game is to transcend all of these experiences at some given point in time and move back into a less limiting concept of reality, or what you could be, or what your capabilities are. So we're going through, we're on this ladder that you are you're climbing up. You've climbed all the way down. Now you have the opportunity to climb all the way up. It is the right and birthright of every being to be able to do these things. There's no doubt about that. It is the right, but I don't see that all human beings will do this at the same time.
Sure.
I think that there are some who will, although the New Age movement tends to put that out there, that everybody is going to be shifting into. No. Everybody is, obviously, it can't be everybody shifting, and I tell you why. Go back to what you had asked me before about the imprints and things that people have encoded in them, and I mentioned about experiences. Well, there are so many things that each one of us probably must process, then must clear, must move through, and we can call it, for lack of a better word, karma then. And when I use the word karma, again, I'm looking at this scientifically, the fact that for every action there is a reaction. Okay, It doesn't matter which way we go. For every action, there must be a reaction. So we all end up having to deal with the reaction from everything that we do in our life, every thought, everything we do. With that said, because time is so trippy, every soul has the opportunity